Carl Jung believed that every human being wears a mask. He called it the persona, the face we show to the world so we can be accepted, admired, and understood. It's the version of ourselves that looks confident in a meeting, kind in conversation, or composed when life feels chaotic. But Jung also knew a deeper truth, that no matter how carefully someone builds their mask, the truth of who they really are always slips through. There are two signs that reveal a person's authentic character, and once you learn to notice them, you'll never look at people the same way again. Imagine sitting across from someone you think you know. They seem honest, grounded, maybe even inspiring. They've got all the right words and carry themselves in a way that feels convincing. But then something happens, maybe a small disagreement, maybe a slip in their tone, and your instincts whisper, there's something more beneath the surface. That whisper is not paranoia, it's your unconscious noticing the cracks in their mask. Jung spent decades studying these cracks. What he found was unsettling. People don't reveal their truth when they want it, they reveal it when they can't help themselves. The first window into someone's true self comes from observing their judgments of others. Jung believed that what we condemn most harshly in others is often what we've buried in ourselves. He called this projection. Think of David, a successful architect who prides himself on being serious and principled. Whenever his colleague Marcus is praised for charming clients, David bristles. His jaw tightens, his words turn sharp, and he calls Marcus fake. On the surface it looks like a simple dislike. But to Jung, this reaction means something else entirely. Deep down, David wishes he could be more charismatic, more easygoing. But he has buried that desire, telling himself that charm equals dishonesty. So instead of admitting this part of himself, he projects it outward, attacking Marcus for embodying what he secretly longs to express. Jung explained that the shadow, our rejected qualities, always leaks through. We may think we've hidden it, but it returns disguised as criticism. And the harsher the judgment, the closer we are to the buried truth. Projection isn't always negative. It can also appear in admiration. Someone who constantly places others on pedestals, calling them talented or brave, may actually be pointing toward their own potential, a quality they have not yet claimed. This is why it's so revealing to watch not just what someone says about others, but how strongly they feel about it. That emotional intensity, whether it's admiration or contempt, is the shadow rising to the surface. It tells you more about the person than their achievements, their charm, or their practiced words. The second window opens in moments of pressure, when the mask someone wears is threatened. Maintaining an image takes energy. People spend enormous effort keeping up the version of themselves they want the world to see, the smart one, the strong one, the kind one, the capable one. But masks are fragile. When someone faces unexpected criticism, when they make a mistake, or when their competence is questioned, the mask often slips. And in that instant, the truth appears. Some people lash out, defend themselves, or push the blame onto others. Others pause, reflect, and respond honestly. That difference between protecting the mask and showing authenticity reveals a person's true character. Picture a manager caught in a mistake during a meeting. If she immediately blames her team, she shows that protecting her image matters more than integrity. If she admits the error and owns it, she shows humility and strength. That single reaction, happening in just a few seconds, speaks louder than years of carefully maintained reputation. Jung's discovery was that these two tells, judgments and mask maintenance, don't just help us understand other people. They also hold up a mirror to ourselves. Who do you find yourself criticizing most harshly? What qualities in others trigger you? Those are the traits you've pushed into your own shadow. And how do you respond when you're criticized, when your mask is threatened? Do you defend, attack, or blame, or do you breathe, accept, and show your real self? Jung once wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Terrifying, yes, because it means confronting the parts of ourselves we've denied and the masks we've hidden behind. But also liberating. Because when you finally see your shadow and loosen your grip on the mask, you don't just learn to read others more clearly, you learn to see yourself for the very first time. Take Sarah. She was a marketing director, admired for her calm professionalism. Her entire career rested on being the steady hand, the one who never lost her cool under pressure. In every meeting, every presentation, every crisis, she maintained the same collected image. But then came the client meeting that changed everything. The client leaned across the table and said, "I don't think your strategy is strong enough. Honestly, I'm questioning your judgment here." For a brief moment, Sarah's mask held. Then it shattered. Her voice sharpened, her posture went rigid, and the calm professional disappeared. She interrupted the client, shifted blame onto her team, and even mocked the client's past decisions. Years of polish fell away, revealing someone defensive, insecure, and willing to sacrifice others to protect her image. Jung would say that this moment told you more about Sarah's true nature than years of professional interaction ever could. When her mask cracked, the real patterns appeared. This is what makes Jung's insight so powerful. The truth of character is not revealed when people are prepared. It emerges when they are caught off guard, when the mask slips, when they cannot control the performance. And these moments don't just happen in high-stakes meetings. They happen in the smallest fragments of daily life. Watch someone when their phone dies and they can't scroll through updates. Notice what happens when they are kept waiting longer than expected. See how they react when their joke falls flat. Do they laugh at themselves with ease, or does irritation flash across their face? These tiny leaks, shifts in tone, stiffness in posture, flashes of irritation reveal more about a person than hours of polite conversation. Sarah's story shows how people reveal themselves under pressure. But Jung also found another, equally reliable window: judgment. He noticed that what people condemn most intensely in others often reflects what they've rejected in themselves. He called this projection. Consider David, an architect who prides himself on being principled and serious. Every time his colleague Marcus receives praise for his charisma with clients, David bristles. He calls Marcus fake, manipulative, dishonest. His criticisms are sharp, almost obsessive. To most observers, it looks like a simple dislike. But to Jung, this reaction reveals David's shadow. Deep down, David envies Marcus's charm. He wishes he could be more socially smooth, but he has buried that desire, telling himself that charm equals dishonesty. Because he cannot accept this part of himself, he sees it in Marcus and condemns it there. His judgment of Marcus is actually a judgment of himself. This is how the shadow works. The parts of ourselves we reject don't disappear. They come back disguised as the flaws we point out in others. The harsher the judgment, the clearer the shadow. And it's not only negative qualities we project. Sometimes we project positive ones too. A person who constantly praises others for being talented or confident may actually be pointing toward their own hidden abilities. They admire in others what they have not yet claimed in themselves. The secret lies in emotional intensity. Whenever someone reacts too strongly, whether in admiration or contempt, they are showing you a piece of their shadow. Jung wrote that loneliness is not the absence of people, but the inability to express what truly matters inside. In the same way, constant judgment is a sign of inner disconnection. It reveals how far someone is from their rejected parts, how much of themselves they have pushed away. When you hear their sharpest criticism, you are listening to their unspoken conflict. If judgment shows us the shadow, the breakdown of the mask shows us the struggle of the ego. Maintaining a false image takes enormous energy. Jung called this ego maintenance. It is like holding up a mask for hours on end.